Hello guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Lavin Dwivedi and you are watching Zero to Hero Tech. So today we will be discussing about how JVM works. So in our previous video we have seen the flow of a Java code from .java file to the machine code, and in this video we will be looking into a major component which is known as JVM. JVM means Java Virtual Machine. Okay, so as the name suggested, it is a virtual machine. It is not a actual system. It is just piece of code. Okay, so how does it works? How does it take the byte code and convert it into a machine code? So we will look the architecture of JVM today. So this is it. This is the JVM, and the major functionality of JVM is to take the byte code, the dot class file, and convert it into the machine understandable code. So in this side you can see the functionality. It loads, it verifies, and it executes. So loading, verification, and execution is the main purpose of JVM. So in this JVM we have different components. So consider the outer box as a JVM. Inside that JVM we have different sections. The first section is class loader. So what does this class loader do is like it will take your byte code, that is your dot class file, and then it loads it into the main memory. Okay, once this is done, means this loading process gets completed, it will shift to JVM memory area. Now in this JVM memory area there are different blocks. For example, there is class, heap, stack, and PC register. So all these blocks have been assigned with a particular task. The class block will take the memory, means it allocates the memory to the classes, to the methods, and the variables. Okay, the heap part will take care of the object. So whatever memory required by an object, so this heap area will gonna provide that thing. In stack we can have the local variables and the references, so all those things are stored in stack area. In PC register we will have the execution address. So when the first command get execute, it's register second command address. So what is happening is, for example, if we have 10 lines of code and if the first thing is performing some operation, so as soon as the first operation gets completed, this PC register will point to this second address. Okay, the second address of execution, it's just the address, it's not the actual values of that thing. Okay, it just store the address. Now coming to the execution engine part. So this is the third component of the JVM. In this we are having JIT compiler and garbage collector. So what is this JIT compiler? This is just in time compiler. Okay, so we'll go to this slide. Here the JIT compiler means just in time compiler, and it is a companion of JVM. So what basically the work of JVM is to convert the bytecode into machine understandable code and then to execute it. So JVM helps JVM to perform this action. So we can understand it in a different way. In the early days when Java was getting developed, so what the developer has noticed that if we have the same kind of code, like if we are calling a code multiple times and it is getting executed multiple times, then what JVM needs to do is like it needs to convert that particular piece of code into the machine understandable code. Okay, so that is a repetitive process. Um, to make that whole execution less complex, they have introduced a concept of JIT compiler. So what this JIT compiler will do, it will check like this particular piece of code has been executed multiple times. So it means it converts that particular code in dot class file into a machine understandable code, and it stores a copy of that machine understandable code with it. Okay, so next time whenever JVM try to execute similar kind of code, it will just ask JIT that bro, you have that piece of code, right? You have the machine understandable code for this piece of code which is written in dot class file. Can you just give it to me? So JIT compiler will just give the machine understandable code to the JVM, so that JVM don't need to again convert that code into the machine understandable code and perform the execution. So it saves a lot of time. That's why JIT compiler has been introduced. Okay, so with the help of JIT compiler, the execution time get very less. So it is basically speeding up the whole execution process, and everything is happening at the runtime. So that's why it is called as just in time. Okay, coming back to our garbage collector. Garbage collector is basically doing the cleaning activity. So whatever the deallocation of memory process, so all those things will be handled by garbage collector over here. So this was the basic structure of a JVM. So everything like loading, this verification and this execution, everything is happening inside this JVM, and JIT compiler is also a part of JVM only. Now we will move ahead to the architecture of Java. So in Java architecture, we basically have three major components. One is Java Development Kit, which is also known as JDK. The another one is JRE, and the third one is JVM. Okay, so we have already discussed this JVM. Like inside this JVM, we are having this process: loading, verification, and execution process. Okay, so this was about this JVM. Now what about JRE? Okay, so this is consider this box as a JRE. Okay, so inside this JRE we have the JVM. Okay, so JVM is residing inside JRE, and along with JVM, JRE also has libraries, few libraries. So these libraries will support JVM to perform the execution. JVM take helps from these libraries. Okay, so these libraries are basically a piece of code which will be helping out JVM with the execution process. Okay, so these things will come inside JRE, and this whole JRE will come inside JDK along with some development tools. Okay, so inside JRE we have JVM and few libraries, and inside JDK we have JRE and this development tool. So these development tools are like Java Siemens, Java Compiler, Java Doc, and Debugger. So all these supporting tools will be present in Java Development Kit JDK. Okay, and the whole thing is known as Java architecture. Okay, so I hope till this point everything is clear. If you like this video, then share it with your friends, and do subscribe to my channel. In the next section, we will be looking into our first Java code. We will write a basic program to print this hello world. We won't be using any IDE, integrated development environment. We will be just using a simple notepad, and with the help of command line, we will be executing our code. Thank you for watching.